It also helps improve our competitive position. And you may have seen what Kansas has done. If you haven't paid much attention, Kansas completely eliminated all their income tax on S corporations last year. Completely eliminated all income tax on S corporations in their state last year. What that means is if you are in the Kansas City area or the Joplin area where you can move just a few miles across the state line, or in the case of Kansas City, you can move across the street and be in Kansas. If you're an S corporation that's very profitable, so you're actually paying income taxes, it behooves you to move your business to Kansas. All that's required is that you or the shareholders of the S corporation live in Kansas, which a lot of people do already, and your business location has to be in Kansas. And because of that, there are a lot of businesses that we're concerned are going to move across the state line in Kansas City. That's going to cause a revenue loss in the state of Missouri, whether we have this bill or not. And so part of our reasoning when we approached this with legislators was, why don't we reinvest some of this lost revenue that we're otherwise going to have in reducing taxes for all our existing companies and help, offset this a little bit. Maybe some of those companies won't move. That was our reasoning. And you heard probably through the session all the lamenting that Kansas cannot possibly sustain this, that they're going to have to raise taxes. Well, they just followed up with another tax cut that they passed last week. So they are on the path to having one of the lowest taxes on business income in the nation. Oklahoma also reduced their taxes as a result. And if Missouri doesn't do something, we will continue to slide. And I'm very fearful of what's going to happen, especially in the Kansas City area. The Kansas City mayor does not seem very concerned about it. The governor has not been concerned about it. We've tried to beat the drum with those folks and let them know this is something they really need to pay attention to. Think about it. If your company's not making money, it wouldn't pay to move. So it has to be a profitable company in order for it to be worth it to them to move to Kansas. So you're looking at highly portable companies, probably not heavy manufacturing, but maybe technology-type companies, lawyers, accountants, those types of firms that can very easily move their offices from one to another. If they're leasing a building right now, we know that's affecting lease rates right now on the Kansas City side or in the Kansas City, Missouri side of the equation. So people are threatening to move. There are some very large companies that were looking at this legislation and we're waiting to see, because they are organized as S corporations, even though they're very large, and very high dollars in terms of what they pay their employees. And they were watching this bill to see if it was going to make it through the legislature. It did make it through the legislature. Now that the governor's vetoed it, we're trying to get them to wait until we get past the veto session to see if we're able to override the governor's veto on this important legislation.